Bridget, you and I got a text from a different family member about...
Oh my God!
We got a text from our sissy-in-law, Danielle, who told us that a loyal listener, in fact, he was the listener who recommended the movie Castaway.
Oh God, I love
which
him.
we did. This is John. Shout out, John.
Gino! Not the pizza, the man, the legend. Our brother's best friend.
Named 2 fish after us, right? Were we the fish or were we the turtle?
I think we were the turtles, but we didn't survive, or were we the fish? No, I think we
were the fish, because the turtle ate the fish.
But we died.
We died. But the joke that was made was that we were the sisters who survived, but then they didn't survive. Listen to our movie Survivor episode, listeners. Jesus.
Okay, you guys, I don't think you realize how funny this is that our brother, who refuses to acknowledge our podcast, let alone come on it. And we've asked him, and he is just absolutely will not ever, ever, ever come on. But his best friend is a loyal listener, and it is so funny. And Gino, we love you so much.
We love you.
I want to squeeze hug you. We should get Gino on here. Gino, would you come on and talk? Because he could be up to speed on the inside jokes.
Oh, he definitely is.
For sure. He's at least listened to, I'm going to average 100. At least 100.
Oh my God. Gino.
We're fish.
Let us know if you want to come.
Gino, tell us. And then
maybe we can swindle Jimmy.
Yeah, record Jimmy and we'll secretly put him on and he won't know. And
we could set up like a hot mic situation that Jimmy doesn't know about and you're like the undercover person. I can see it all now. It's perfect.
I love this.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
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 Oh.
There's something upstairs.
Oh, God. Something, Bridge. Not someone. Yes. Welcome back, listeners. Don't be scared. We're all here. We're all scared. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Listeners, I'm going to introduce ourselves so you know who we are and what's happening.
Oh, you okay? Okay.
Yep. I'm looking around like, who is up here with me? Listeners, so we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where 2 sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And you moved the headstones, but you left the body! Oh, it's so not funny in the movie, but it's a funny line to repeat.
And also, nobody could see you, like, smashing your head and doing giant arm movements. That was amazing.
A production, yes.
Wow.
Bridge, what's our movie this week?
1982 throwback horror Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Screenplay, Steven Spielberg. Directed by...
Tobe Hooper.
Yes, who did
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah.
It's your turn. I am passing the mic.
Oh,
Give a synopsis, Kate. For those who have not seen it in a while, that don't remember it, give it to them.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, the guy moved the headstones, but he didn't move the body. So, just remember that, because that's important. Okay, well, this movie centers all around a family. I don't know their last name. I don't know, but it's like a suburban family.
Suburbs.
The burbs. They live in a, like, development that I guess is like a newer development where it's like, oh yeah, all the houses look the same, blah, blah, blah. And it's very typical American family. We got a mom. We got a dad. We got an older sister. We got a middle child brother. Woof. Feel really bad for that kid in this movie because he kind of gets shit on a lot. And then we have a younger sister. So 3 kids, 2 parents, 1 dog. Dog is important. And I don't know, like, life is good and whatever. Except life isn't good, Bridge, because actually the younger daughter is talking to someone or something via TV static, and it's like scaring everyone, and you're like, oh, that's weird, but And then a lot of spooky shit starts to happen.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Where basically this is where the tree like breaks into the house and like attacks the son, and there's a tornado. I don't even know, but unfortunately this big brouhaha, the younger daughter, her name is Carol Ann, she gets like taken, and we're like, where the fuck is Carol Ann? Because like this is a big mansion, but we also looked everywhere, so where are you at? And then she's like, yo, I'm in the TV, what up, get me out of here, because like cable news, no. Just kidding. She didn't say that. She's through the static. And it's scary. So then they're like, shit, we don't even know what to do. So they go to the right people, Bridge. They go to the paranormal investigators.
It's a parapsychologist.
Okay, well, you know,
I think that could be a career for you.
Honestly,
if you're interested.
that one lady where she was talking about her backstory, where she was like, I was a psychologist for most of my life, and this was just a hobby. I was like, is this me?
It's you.
Is this what's happening? Am I going to be her?
You're going to be Casper's unofficial
therapist.
Cat's dad. That's going to be you.
That's me. Yeah. So basically, like, a big chunk of the movie is them trying to get her back. And then they try a bunch of different stuff. Nothing really works. Then they figure out there's, like, portals in the house. It's like ghost portals. What the fuck? All this shit's, like, moving around by itself. The lady's like, probably got poltergeist. That sucks. Woof. Whatever. And then Bridge, they get the best character in the entire movie. Her name is Zelda. Who, if I remember correctly, I feel like last episode you were like, she's so scary. And I hope you don't feel that way now.
I don't, but like, she's good. She's brave in the scary moments. The scariest moments, I think, happen, and she just hits it head on. And it's, I don't know, I didn't connect the two, that she's much better than what I thought.
This house has many hearts. I don't know if she says hearts or haunts.
Hearts.
Okay, well that works too. So Zelda comes in and she's like, yo, I'm like a psychic, but also for ghosts, but also exorcist maybe. Also, let's go get your daughter back, which is the best line in the entire movie. And then they do, and they get Carol Ann out, and then you're like, wow, all right, movie's over. The movie's not over, Bridget.
I have opinions on that. I'm interested when we get there.
The movie's not fucking over.
The movie's not over.
It's not over. Listen, I give kudos because this was not a family that was like, well, anyway, let's keep living here. They're like, we're getting the fuck out of here. We're gonna move our shit. But then they sleep an extra night, which I was confused about. And unfortunately, that's where the ghost, demon, whatever, is like, well, I'm pissed. So I'm gonna try to fuck shit up. And it just really does. And then we discover that there's so many dead bodies under this house that right now felt the need to come up from the ground. And, and then we all do finally run away, and then the house, implodes. And, that's it. So...
The house was not clear.
The house was not clear, or it was, but then, it wasn't. We don't know. We don't know. But Bridge, this is an interesting movie because even though it's a horror movie, nobody dies in it, which is kind of fun.
Nobody does. You're right.
Yeah, there's no in-movie deaths. Like, you see dead bodies, but those are, old.
You're right.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
It had thriller vibes to me, too.
Yeah.
Horror
because it wasn't,
thriller.
Horrific. I don't know. Some parts are really scary, but not the whole thing.
Yeah. I believe this is PG because they didn't have PG-13 back then.
Pretty sure. Yeah. What the F?
Nuts. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Well. We start off like every good movie with the Star-Spangled Banner.
So do you remember?
What?
I said last episode, I was like, I don't know why this movie makes me think of summer. I think subliminally it's because the goddamn Star Spangled Banner, and my brain was like, yeah, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Totally. Like, what? But I guess that like a real thing that the TV would do? Goddamn America. It probably was. Ugh.
I didn't go into, like, all the fun facts around this movie are not into, like, the deep psychological gist of this. It's very much on the special effects and this and that. But I thought to myself, the whole movie is based on America, capitalism going too far.
American families.
So was it being, like, making fun of the fact that this insane drive to be the best at all costs is part of the America's problem? But I don't think in 82, everyone's like loved America. So I don't think that was the case. But now, watching it, that's what I thought. I thought, oh, yikesy. Why does the dog French kiss the teenager to wake her up? What was that about? 'Cause that was gross.
That wasn't weird for me as someone who owns a dog named Bear who does that.
Jesus,
he's
Kate.
Hungies.
Jesus, brush your teeth. Disgusting.
So sorry. I love that intro though because you're basically getting a tour of this really freaking weirdly designed house. I mean, I don't know what this would go for on Zillow, but
I do. I looked it up. It's like $1 million. It's like $1 million.
Wait, but that staircase is not still there. There's no way.
I'm gonna look it up right now. You keep going.
The wavy, curly staircase in the middle of the room for no reason? Like, that is the weirdest design.
Keep talking.
Okay. Anyway, this is a huge house. And even though it's a huge house, Bridge, the two youngest children have to share a room, which I call bullshit. Because I guarantee you there is another bedroom they could have been in. We could have avoided this whole thing if we just had the kids in different spots.
Good goddamn call out.
I'm just saying. Okay. So that's kind of how we get the layout, is via dog walking around. But this is the first time we see Carol Ann, who she goes downstairs because the dad fell asleep, and he fell asleep watching TV. So the TV, after it plays the Star Spangled Banner, it just goes to static because I guess back then it wasn't just never-ending content. It would end at some point, and then your TV's like, good night, static. So this is where she starts, like, she kind of like is screaming at the TV. She's like, what? What did you say? It was like, Carol Ann, chill, girl.
Well, I want to just take a moment. I cannot find inside pictures of the house, but the house still exists in case anyone cared.
I care. Wow.
One of the Carol Ann at the time, I think, as an actor, was like 6.
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about the child acting, Kate?
Well, some parts were okay.
Okay.
But some parts were not okay.
Okay, continue. So she's screaming at the TV.
And then everyone's like, girl, it's like 3 a.m. Read the room. And then they're all like, oh, that's creepy. Anyway, then it's like, la-da-da-da-da-da, suburban time. Yeah, sun is shining. And this is where we see that we're in a suburb with all the houses are the same.
Oh, it's super 80s.
Yeah.
Kids are trying to make an adult man holding beer, like, crash his bike with their...
And then the guy, like, doesn't get upset about that at all. Because he's like, football, America!
Yeah.
I'm a bear!
Then his beer is spilling, and then they get to the house, and they're watching the sports ball game, but the neighbors move the channel to Mr. Rogers, and then they're fighting, and I'm so confused what universe. We have different remotes. What's happening?
I don't know the science of anything with that, but I think that's made up, because I don't even think in this day and age I can go buy a remote that controls someone else's TV. Like,
my God.
That's not real.
Can you imagine if we could do that with podcasts, and like everyone's podcast just ends up being Sisters Who've Seen It?
Oh,
and we're like,
sounds like
the
theft.
Downloads are out of control.
That's definitely a hack. Yeah. But so, yeah, this is weird. And like, I don't really know what the point of that was. I guess it was just
So
more
I
TV,
feel like
we're like, it's TV time.
No, I got it that it was, so Steve, the dad,
yes,
is a realtor that's representing, like, you know, these contractors building these homes, so to speak, whatever. And I got the sense that it was like, hey, we want you to feel like it's like typical suburban neighborhood where everyone, you know, is like hanging out and watching TV and we fight with the neighbors and the kids are outside playing. Like, I felt like they just wanted to, it's like the Steven Spielberg effect, right? Like, this was the same year he made E.T. Talking suburbs. We're talking like nitty gritty.
Wow, this was the same year.
Same year.
So crazy.
And I read that people think he actually directed this movie and used the other guy as like a front because from a contract standpoint, he couldn't direct it because of E.T. And then it went to the Directors Guild and they found no evidence of it, but a lot of people made whispers.
Jesus Christ.
So,
well,
back to the plot. Back to the plot.
Well, during our bro-dad sports ball time, Carol Ann's bird dies.
Tweety.
Oh, wait, we do have a death in this movie. It's a bird.
It's Tweety. Do you know what I was thinking when this whole scene was happening? Because I was thinking, literally, no one wants to watch their children in the 80s because that was when the boy was climbing the tree. Nobody knew where any of their kids were. They were trying to like make adults fall on bikes. Nobody cared. It was the age when the commercial came out that was like, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? You know, that was a real
they're
commercial.
All like, we don't.
And
they're in the TV.
We don't.
I don't know.
We don't care. We got a sports ball
them.
game. But Tweety Bird, Aki's moment, she dies. The mom's like, shit. And then she tries to flush the bird down the toilet. Carol Ann walks in. Kate, did that happen to our childhood? Anybody?
I don't, well, we never had a bird.
Oh, God.
I had a lot of hamsters that died.
Oh,
but
God.
I don't think mom would flush them down the toilet because she would be like, it'll clog the pipes. And then we have to get a plumber. So we're not doing that. And we never buried any of them. So I actually don't know where all those dead small animals ended up. But
we didn't bury it. Come on, we buried some stuff.
I
want to say we buried things.
What were you burying, Bridget?
I want to say we buried something. When there's a family hangout, we got to ask about this.
Okay.
Was any dead pet buried?
Yeah, I don't know. But then mom is like, fine, we'll have a fucking bird funeral, whatever. And this is so funny because they do this whole build-up where the girl's like, I'm so sad. I'm going to put a picture of like me in there for the bird. Let's give it a flower. Let's do this. She does like a little prayer, which like Carol Ann, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
But okay.
She's adorable, though. I mean,
she's cute.
But
they literally bury this bird, and I swear to God, the very next scene is construction, or maybe it's like 2 scenes later. They literally like dig up that area, and then the bird box just like goes flying. And I was like, heavy-handed foreshadowing, but like amazing. Just don't give a shit about Tweety. What did Tweety do?
Maybe they don't care about the buried dead, Kate.
Maybe they don't. The construction workers sure don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, but I want to talk about the most important scene, which was when we shoot to the parents hanging out in their gold metal framed bed that our parents absolutely had. The exact same look.
Very thick carpet in there.
The mom was smoking a joint.
Talking at bedtime.
Was that our mom, and our dad just smoked to cover up the smell? And then she proceeds to tell a story about how she fell asleep in a trunk and everyone thought she was abducted, and wasn't it hilarious? Blink, blink, blink.
You know, Bridge,
blink,
off air,
blink.
we were talking about how sometimes people try to tell jokes and they're not funny, so you can't call them a joke if it's not funny. And I feel like this is one of those times.
It's not funny.
She was like, "Isn't that hilarious?" And he was like, what the fuck
it was
happening?
super Aki's.
Yeah, because they're talking about that because she's like, maybe Carol Ann is sleepwalking, and that was the weird TV shit that we saw. And then she's like, what if she falls in the pool that we didn't make yet? And that's going to happen in the next scene that digs up the dead bird. Steve, what about that?
All I thought about is, honey, if you got paranoia, you should not be smoking weed. It is not going to help.
Definitely not helping. Also, I love when the kid Robbie just walks in like, hey guys, sorry to interrupt your weird parent time. And I was like, no.
the husband Steve is reading a magazine that's like Reagan, the new president,
God.
and I'm like,
Aggressive.
this is literally. I mean, Kate, we're talking like 50 years ago.
Ew.
No, 40. Math. 40. That's crazy.
That's
okay,
so crazy.
but I'm gonna give it up for the kid, Robbie. That clown doll needs
Fuck
to
that.
go.
Who brought that? Was that a grandma gift? Because she's not here, so we don't need it out. Okay.
What's the deal with the clown?
Put it in storage. I don't know. I literally wrote, okay, this clown doll needs to relax.
I thought of you. I said, I'm the scaredy cat, but you don't like clowns. And I don't think
like
it's
dolls. No, I don't like dolls.
Okay, but it was a clown doll.
It's gross. I hate it. And it's like, at one point, Carol Ann's like cuddling with it. And I was like, Carol Ann, did you consent to that? Because I'm upset about it. Who likes this thing? What the F? But the clown doll doesn't really do anything. It's just like there. And Robbie's more scared because there is a scary thunderstorm. But then this isn't even the night that anything happens. This is just another night where he ends up sleeping in the parents' bed because he's scared. Yeah. Carol Ann is sleeping there too because they share a room. Need I remind you all, we couldn't find another room in this McMansion. And she wakes up to the TV, goes to the TV, and this is where she says the iconic line, "They're here."
They're here.
Everyone's like moving on, but then they don't move on. And I was like, whoa.
Okay, but there was an earthquake, Kate.
Oh, yeah.
The TV goes nuts. There was an earthquake.
Was it an earthquake or was it the ghosts doing shit?
It was the ghosts, but like no one knew that, so it was an earthquake. And that was what was cool about this movie is, especially for a scaredy cat like me, it built you up. It was like, okay, hey, there's a clown doll. Nothing's gonna happen, but we shouldn't trust it.
Don't forget the clown. It's gonna stare at you all the time, but it's not gonna do anything yet.
The mom's smoking weed. We're just hanging. We're just chilling. There's an earthquake. Something's happening. And then Caroline says they're here, and I'm scared. And I feel like I appreciated the mom who said to Caroline, hey, you mentioned these TV people. What do you mean? And I thought, for once, a parent actually like asking their kid, because in all these movies, all the parents just like ignore the kids.
Yeah.
And don't acknowledge them. And I kind of appreciated that she was like, hey, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Because, yikes.
Well, and then this is Robbie's holding a glass, which I thought this was, again, really funny that no one made any comments on this. The glass, like, explodes.
Yes.
And instead of us being like, wow, Robbie's not Superman, so, like, I know that little scrawny boy didn't do that on his own, must be ghosts, they instead were like, oh no, there's milk on the book. Uh-oh. I was like, wait, guys,
Okay, that's the teenage daughter, whose name is what? Now, this is the poor...
Yes.
Okay,
her name is Dana.
Okay, Dana. And then
the actress is Dominique Dunn.
Okay, in real life, she was murdered by her abusive ex-boyfriend.
Yeah!
He just went into, like, a rage and strangled her.
Yeah, he did.
Horrifying.
And I'm pretty sure she had reported him to the police and maybe even got a restraining order on point. And, she was murdered. So.
Oh my God. I was reading that and I was like, because I was reading how people were talking about this movie's cursed and then there's a backlash. I'm like, no, it's not cursed. There was some awful fucking person that murdered her. It had nothing to do with the movie. She had a horrible ex-boyfriend. That was like the worst.
Yeah.
However, Kate, let's do some mental math. The mom is 31.
Oh.
The daughter is 16. Are we to assume this is a stepmom situation? Because it was never addressed, and if it wasn't, she had her at 15. What's happening?
I actually think the men who wrote this screenplay, who were all men, didn't use their brains for women and being pregnant. Yeah, that's
because
what I think.
Typically in these like horror movies, I guess except for like Steven Spielberg style, the teenager has like a much bigger role, but in this movie, she was kind of out of it. Like she was mad about the milk spilling, the weird construction workers like whistle at her. Hate it, but for the most part, she's scared as hell, and she's like, I'm going to my friend's house. I know, like, so that's why I was like, is this her sister? Is this her stepsister? Because her sister's missing, and she doesn't care, and she's not around, and I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pin in it.
I don't know either.
All right.
But this is the start of when we start to see ghost shit, but it's not like threatening ghost shit. Besides the glass exploding, that I think is threatening, but again, nobody cared.
No.
Where Robbie and the older sister, they leave. Carol Ann, I guess, is too young to go to school, which is wrong, because she's not. She should be at school. Mom, hello? Send your kid to school. Fine. But we see, like, the kitchen chairs are, like, moving on their own, or they, like, are moved, and Mom's
that was
like...
such a cool scene.
Wait, the stacking scene is so awesome. Oh my god, I love that so much.
Wait, can we set that stacking scene up? For people that don't remember it, the chairs are moved out, and she's like, these kids need to push in their chairs. And then it was, like, 1 second later, where she turns around, and they were, like, stacked, like a tower.
Well, it's like a one shot. The camera follows the mom, so you, like, aren't able to see the table, and you just focus on the mom. She grabs, like, cleaning supplies, and it literally turns around, and, like, 5 seconds, and they're all stacked like Jenga.
That like gave me feels. Okay, sorry I cut you off. I just thought that was like really freaking cool to explain. Keep going, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then the mom is like, Carol Ann, can you like see them? Like the TV people. And then Carol Ann goes, no. And then she goes, can you? And the mom's like, no. And then Carol Ann's like, right, I'm the spooky one. Sorry, just thought I'd ask. I'm 6. And then, like, the mom spends her entire day, which this would also be me, Bridge, sorry, where she basically is doing science experiments with, like, ghost realm things, and she's like, if you stand right here, then you're gonna move over there, but you gotta be careful, and also, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, whoa,
Kate,
Mom, chill.
I understand why they made her the smoking pot mom, because for her to be excited that her daughter flies across the floor.
At least she wore a helmet, though.
I'm down the street. I'm running to the next state over.
Shit.
I'm out of here. So if this happens to your house and you call me up and say, Bridge, I want to let you know that I could fly across the carpet. I am on a plane flying to you, grabbing you, and we're getting the hell out of there because she needed to leave immediately.
I'd be like, Bridget, okay, we'll go, but first, sit on this spot on the floor with this helmet. Just have the experience.
Like, you just have Bear and he's just like scooting.
He's like,
kitchen.
I hate it.
He's like, Mommy.
Oh
okay,
my God.
but she shows her husband, and I thought this would have been like a typical movie scene where he comes home and she's like, let me show you something, and then it doesn't work, but it works. He's confused. And they're all kind of like scared, and so they go to the neighbors, right? Okay. Sorry.
Sorry. They go to the fucking neighbor, and this is the Bob scene.
I don't understand. What's the point of the mosquitoes in this scene?
I don't know. And then the parents are like awkwardly giggling, and I was like, did you guys just do another toke session before you walked over here? What's going on, you two giggle butts? My God.
I feel like they did.
Well, they're basically just trying to ask, like, is there anything weird at your guys' house? Which, I don't know why there wasn't, because there's literally so many dead bodies everywhere at the end, so... Like, what is happening? But fine. It's fine. And they're like, no, you guys are weird. And they're like, ha, 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 okay, bye. And then, it's another night of scary thunderstorm. And Robbie is like, I don't like that tree. That tree's looking at me. Not a fan. I
Poor
could
Robbie.
just pull the curtains closed. I do feel bad for Robbie. I mean, I feel like he's the forgotten middle child sometimes.
Robbie literally gets shafted this whole movie. But I also feel like Carol Ann almost had it worse because she was literally abducted.
Well, she was taken. Yeah.
But here's what's funny. The mom is still like, isn't this cool? And the dad's like, I hate it. I'm the dad. I'm like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
The tree reaching into the bedroom and pulling the kid out was... That's what's so freaking good about any Steven Spielberg anything is like he gives you what you want. Like, I don't want the tree to be somewhat scary and it's not. I don't want like Carol Ann to move across the kitchen but then the dad can't see it. He just gives you, it's like the instant gratification, and the tree was such a perfect scene for that because it was creepy. It came through the window perfectly. The special effects looked amazing.
Oh my God. And then at one point, which I didn't remember, the tree like goes to like eat him, and it's like
it's eating him.
It's like eating him, and I was like, ew, this is so scary. I hate it.
But there was a really horrible tornado graphic that we'll ignore. But the poor girl, Carol Ann, is now holding onto her bed frame because there's like crazy wind, and then the closet becomes this portal.
Yeah.
I kept thinking nobody cares about this little girl.
I was like, why can't we just take the clown doll and call it a day? Why do we gotta take the girl? I mean, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You get a body, we get rid of the clown. It's good. It's a win. But no, that's not what happens. Carol Ann gets taken, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, we left the toddler inside. I guess we'll go find her. They immediately abandon Robbie, who is traumatized. He's covered in mud. They're like, anyway, Robbie, you're fine. You got your legs. We gotta go. Where's Carol Ann? And they don't find her. She's missing.
She's calling out from the TV.
Oh, it's so creepy.
So creepy. It was so good because it was so subtle.
Yeah.
It was like, you hear her. She has to be in the house. Like, where is she? But then this is when they've had enough, and they're like, we are going to need a professional. We're going to the university. The dad's like, I need some specialists, and Kate, this is your future career. So I think you should take it from here.
He comes to me, and I'm like, tell me, give me the spiel, let me know what's up. And the people that he's talking to, I don't know any of their names. There was like a woman who was like
Lish.
What? Oh,
Dr. Lish.
Okay.
Ryan.
And
Pugsley?
Oh, not that. Pugsley from the Addams Family?
Did I get that wrong?
I don't know.
All right, keep going.
Okay. Well, yeah, so they're all there, and, like, at this part, they're kind of, like, just getting information, but they're not, like, it's not that they're not taking it seriously, but they're kind of like, sure. Like, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff. They're like, one time we videotaped something for hours and hours, and something moved, like, an inch. And that's crazy.
I thought that was so beautifully written.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it because the dad wasn't like, are you kidding? You should see this. He just was like,
Very show, not tell.
Yeah, he's like, I'm too tired. I'll just open the door and show you.
He's like, look in this door of shit and terrible CGI. All right? This clown doll's still in there, by the way. I don't know why we haven't burned
horrifying.
It. My God, it's flying around. That's worse.
They go into the definition between a haunting and a poltergeist. Poltergeists are obsessed with people. A haunting are obsessed with an area.
Yeah.
And they never necessarily told us what it was, but I think because of the movie title, we could assume they're obsessed with people.
Yeah. And they said something with the timing, too. They're like, a poltergeist can, like, end quickly.
Yes, but a haunting goes on forever.
Like, for years. Because they were like, this is a new house. What do you mean? Like,
oh my God, Kate, even just talking about this, I'm getting scared. Like, will I have nightmares tonight?
Bridget, don't sleep with the clown doll. And you'll be fine.
What if we're being haunted and we don't know, Kate? How do you know?
I mean, well, we don't, but we do, you know?
What if the house we both live in was born on gravestones that we didn't know about?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm still waiting for the dead body on my property. It doesn't want to come.
Oh, God.
Nobody's haunting me.
No,
life
you're fine.
Well,
you have Bear. Bear would absolutely find anything before you.
Bear would have ripped the fuck out of that clown doll the moment it was brought home. He would have ripped its head off.
Let's give it up for dogs.
Ate all the stuffing, all of it.
You're right. Why didn't that freaking dog that they had, who was like a super trick dog, get rid of that? My God.
Oh, no. I love the dog, though.
All right, but Carol Ann's gone. The professionals are like, yeah, we see things flying around this room. We believe you, and we gotta, like, set up camp and figure out what the frick's happening. Let's get some cameras, and we need some more professionals on another level. Hot damn, where's your daughter?
They're like, we live here, too, now. Hello. Let's all hang out and have a slumber party in the living room. Go team. They do hear, at one point, the mom, like, talks to Carol Ann through the TV, and there's this whole part where Carol Ann's like, I see a light. And the lady's like, don't go to the light, Carol Ann. Stay away. And then the light becomes a freaking plot point later on. And it's like, okay, let's chill out with that, please.
Oh my God.
I'd be like, Carol Ann, don't move, okay? Because when we're lost and multiple people are moving, the chances of coming together is less likely. So you just stay there. We'll go to you. We'll find you, girl.
Okay, shit gets, like, weird because they obviously can't find the daughter, but then the daughter goes through the mom, and the mom turns into Nancy from The Craft, being, like, felt like Mano took over her.
I forgot about that part.
Freaked me out. It was
my God.
She was like, I felt her through me.
And then she's like, I could smell her. I was like, ew. What does she smell like? What do you mean?
I don't know what was happening, but then this scene is when one of the worker dudes is like, I'm hungry. I'm going to cook a giant ass steak.
Oh. Honestly, he deserved what he got for assuming he could just like steal their prized meat in the middle of the night. Because I know he didn't ask anyone. He was just gonna, like, eat that shit.
The steak got up, started moving, maggots came out of it. Then he went to the mirror, and his face was coming off. And I read that Steven Spielberg, it was his hands ripping the, like, face apart. He blinks, and nothing happened. And then he just goes back to work. And I gotta be honest, I would've been out of there.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that scene in Casper where Bill Pullman keeps changing in the mirror, except he changes to, like, Rodney Dangerfield and Clint Eastwood, and it's LOL, and this was not, but, like, that's what I thought of. I thought of Casper. Yeah, he does dip out, though, after that. The lady's like, we won't be seeing Ryan again.
Oh, he does. I thought he stayed.
She's like, Ryan's...
Oh, it wasn't Pugsley.
Ryan
it was Brian? Was it Ryan?
I thought it was Ryan.
Okay.
Isn't that what you said?
Well, one guy was Ryan, the other was Pug. Whatever, who cares? They
Definitely
leave.
not Pugsley.
They leave.
So, they're kind of like... Oh, and then there's a part where there's, like, a sky portal on the ceiling, and it spits out, like...
jewelry.
Old jewelry and watches, and they're all like, what the F? These are all, like, nobody owns these in this house, and this is a new house, and, like, where did he come from? And I would like to know the science about, like, stealing from corpses, and then keeping them in ghost realm, and then spitting them out into human realm. Is that science? I don't know.
I don't know,
sure.
but I think the only point of it was to understand that the portal comes out that way from the ceiling, and to understand the jewelry is from, like, the 1800s, so, like, something's going on.
Like, all the dead people.
Also, Kate, this was the point that I took a pause in the movie, and I thought, you know, the scariest part of this movie is how slow it all is. Because I keep getting these, like, horror moments, but there's not this, like, big build-up reveal.
Yeah.
It's just continuous little mini moments, and my, like, heart rate was like and it just, like, kept raising, but it wasn't like I'd feel better after a moment. I just kept thinking it's just gonna live on forever. That's what's terrifying about this movie.
And I felt like they did a good job of, like, showing how this, like, family, for the most part, is, like, a normal family, and they, like, like each other, and they're all, like, so distraught that the kid is missing. And then, it's a later scene. I'll bring it up when we get there. But, at some point, I have here, moving steak on the counter. Sir, let's not peel our face off. All right, now we're getting freaky ghost activity. And everyone's just chilling. Also, ghosts in hats. Did you see hats on the ghosts, or did I hallucinate?
There were hats. It was a bright light.
Why?
They were coming down the staircase you hate so much, and it was caught on camera. And then everybody rewatched the camera, and they thought, okay, it ain't one mean, mad ghost. There's a lot of people in this house.
And they care about their skin, so they wear hats to protect themselves from the sun.
Possibly. But this is when the son and the dog get thrown into a taxi alone?
Shipped off.
Kid,
Hope you make it to grandma's.
Robbie? How old is Robbie? Is that taxi driver gonna murder Robbie?
Probably.
He's like 7, right?
He is. I don't know why Robbie wasn't already at grandma's, but
my God.
But I was happy that the dog got out of there, because I'm like, dog, you better be okay.
I hope the dog's all right.
Oy.
Yeah, I just feel like the boss shows up, and he's like, you haven't been to work in a while, so we don't know how long this time frame is.
No, we don't.
But it's very weird. He's like, yeah, I'm sick. He doesn't want to explain it, which I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'd explain this to my boss. I barely tell my boss, like, anything about my life, let alone if, like, Poltergeist took my child, you know? That's, like, a hard thing to explain in a meeting.
Right.
But I feel like we meet then Zelda. Like, Zelda rolls up.
She's so awesome.
Oh my God. Your daughter is alive in this house.
y'all gave me some space, you jamming my frequency. Which I just want to say,
all the time.
Anytime I'm in a public place. I should have said it last night at the club and nobody would have heard me because of music, but
my
made
God.
me feel good. You jamming my frequencies. Yeah, and the dad is kind of like, I don't know if I buy into this shit, whatever. And then Zelda's like, you gotta learn today, okay? Because I'm gonna get your fucking daughter back. That's the best goddamn line in this whole movie, is she makes this whole speech to the mom about, like, it's gonna be things I'm gonna ask you to do that you might not like, but you gotta trust me. You might not believe in certain things. They might go against your beliefs, but you gotta trust me. And then she says, now let's go get your daughter. And I was like, God. Yeah!
I was so
excited.
Into it. Literally,
So
I was
awesome.
like, I'm ready to fight back because
my God,
now,
I love
you
it.
bring in the experts to then do kind of what we've been doing, which is like dicking around for a couple days.
Right. Yeah,
Let's get
she's like,
after
we're
it.
taking action. We're gonna do some shit. Get some rope, okay?
This house has many hearts.
Many hearts.
You can't choose between life and death when you're dealing with what it is in between. Now tell her before it's too late, Diane. Run to the light, baby. Run to the light, Mom.
This is where the mom's like, no, not the light. And I was like, who cares about the light? Focus.
Cross over, children. All are welcome. Go into the light. You told us not to go to the light. She's like, shut up, Steve.
Shut up, I'm Zelda.
This was so cool following this story. She was like, okay, so these people like should have died and should have gone to wherever they go to. We didn't even talk about heaven. All religions out of it. She was like, they just had to cross over to wherever they go, but they got lost. And some people are chill. Some people are mean. She's like, some people are young. Some people are old. We got a lot of people here. We got to figure it out.
She's like, they all have hats on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're missing their watches. It's weird.
And I liked this logic where she's like, you know, they're jealous. They can't like live again. But your daughter makes them feel like they're living again. And so they're like interested to be around her. And I loved that. I was like, yeah, I get that.
And then she was also like, and Carol Ann's a kid, and well, kids just don't know anything that's happening. So she just thinks they're people. And yeah, so, and I was like, oh, I believe that too. Damn it. There's a part here, which this is where I was like, I like how they made this family, because these are like genuinely good parents. Like they care about their kids. Yeah. They like are nice. Everybody likes each other. Like no one's a dick secretly, whatever.
They're great.
And there's a part where they're like, Carol Ann's not answering. And she's like, well, you better yell at her and get her to answer. And then the mom's like, oh no. And then she's like, well, who gives the discipline in this house? And then Steve's like, I guess it's me. And she's like, come on, Steve, tell her, you'll spank her. And then Steve goes, whoa, we never spank our kids. And I was like, A+, parents.
A+.
80s
Because
parents
for once,
are not beating their children. Thank you so much. We
how
need more
ironic
of those.
that dark 80s movies, Poltergeist shows you how to be a better parent.
Yeah, maybe this movie did deserve to have a PG rating, because it's like, it is very friendly. This is very family friendly, okay? No kids are getting beat up by their family.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but then, yeah, so Carol Ann answers, and then this turns into the portal is, like, in the closet, which, like, I mean, like, duh, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's where she was, so.
The entryway is the closet. The exit is the ceiling in the living room.
Right. Yeah, because then she starts throwing tennis balls, and then the guy is catching them, and he's like, it's our tennis ball! It's as if, like, oh no, a random tennis ball from nowhere would just magically come out at the same time. Yes, it's your tennis ball.
But she labeled it, number one. Also, there was goo on it, and I thought that was so cool.
It's so gross. It was like red, too.
But it made you feel like it actually went through something instead of just like a clean tennis ball.
Right.
I just loved all these little touches. So, like a good expert, they did a practice run. It worked. They were ready for the show, but the dad kind of got a little like stressed, but it worked.
Well, first Zelda's like, I'm going in! And then the mom's like, why are you going in? I'll go in! And then Zelda's like, all right, yeah, you go in!
She's like, actually, I don't even know what your daughter looks like.
Yeah, she's like, I'll grab the wrong kid. Oh, shit. So we tie mom to a rope, which, listeners, if y'all are Stranger Things fans, hello, we got lots of inspo from this movie, like all the portals and going into the upside down, I would argue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, people don't forget. There was even like a weird tentacle later on that I hated. But Mom comes out with Carol Ann.
It was awesome.
And they knew ahead of time to prepare bath water. And then Zelda's like, get him to the bath! And I was like, are we going to do a baptism? But we didn't. We were just cleaning off the goo, and then everyone's alive again. And I was like, wow.
That was so awesome. Seeing them fall from the ceiling, hugging each other in goo.
Oh my God. In goo.
I thought that was super cool.
It was awesome.
And then, Kate, I thought, silly me, the movie was over.
Well, Zelda says, this house is claimed.
And I thought to myself, oh, bless you, Jesus, Zelda, thank you so much. I'm out of here. Everybody's alive. Let's get the hell out. And so you see moving boxes. And you're like, absolutely, let's do it. This is where I hated the movie.
This is where I got confused.
In the living hell would you stay in that house again?
But they had a conversation where they were like, no, we're going to stay at a hotel tonight. And I was like, okay. But then the kids fall asleep and also like not all their shit's packed up. So like you're not moving out tonight. What do you mean?
She takes a bath.
She's taking a bath.
The mom's like, let me relax in this demon hellhole with a luxurious salty bath.
Ew, and her bathroom had like a red light bulb. I was like, this is not a good vibe, ma'am.
I hated that.
Oh, and don't worry, Bridge, because we couldn't pack up the evil clown before, we had to move. So he's there too, and this is the worst.
If this movie was called Polter Clown, I'd believe it. It was awful.
So there was a fucking remake of this, and it was like really terrible, and they basically just keep featuring the clown, I'm pretty sure. Ugh. And I'm like, there's more to it than the clown, guys. Damn it. Okay.
But the clown like attacks Robbie and like chokes him. And Kate, I read
in real life,
Robbie was actually choked, and they didn't realize it malfunctioned.
Absolutely terrible and horrific, and that kid definitely has trauma now. Kid who's now a man has trauma. God.
When I think about, I understand why you need child actors in these movies. I get it. But I also feel awful for them. Like, how much do they know they're pretending?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it looks so different when you're there, but it just made me feel bad. I was like, I feel so bad for this kid. Ugh.
He's just always in terror. And then, although I do give Robbie props, because instead of like being like, well, going out, deuces, he's like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna fight back this dumbass clown because this is actually a doll. And then we're all like, oh yeah, it is a doll. And then he like beats it up and you're like, oh, okay.
Loved it.
I guess we're all right then.
Well, and he also ends up saving his sister. Yeah.
Yes, he does. That's true.
Wow.
The closet's trying to suck him in again.
Oh my God, Kate, so first of all, I thought the movie's over, and I did as I normally do, which is how much more time is left in the movie. It's gotta be 2 minutes, and it was like 20.
I was like 20, yeah.
And then she takes a bath, they're resting in bed, the clown's there, it's not good, the clown fights him. She then is out of the bath, and she gets thrown, like Exorcist style, on the ceiling.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was a pretty cool scene.
Very like Nightmare on Elm Street too, which now I'm curious which one came out first. Because that was like a very iconic death in that movie, was on the ceiling. Ooh, it was after this movie.
Oh, well, we know who stole it from who.
Wow.
And then I just kept typing, Zelda's a liar, this house was not clean, she's a liar, she's a liar. I trusted her, Kate. I loved her and trusted her. I felt like it was the best job performance I'd ever seen, and I believed her, and she was a liar.
But I think she believed it too. She wasn't lying. I think she genuinely was like, we good, but she didn't know that the boss who sold the house didn't move the bodies, but they moved the headstones. She didn't know that, Bridge. Who would have known?
This gets so out of control.
Oh my God.
Mom, thrown on the ceiling, comes out of the ceiling, finally, because Robbie's screaming and she can't get out of the bed. Finally, she gets out of the bed. She can't open the door because everything is like electrocuting her.
There's also like a ghost demon skeleton that yells at her, and then she's like, fuck, and she falls down the twirly whirly stairs, Willy Wonka bullshit stairs, okay? That wouldn't have happened if it was a normal staircase.
How'd she get to the pool? I forget about that.
Because she runs outside screaming for help, like, somebody help, neighbors, hello. And then as she's running outside in the storm, she slips because it's all mud. It's not like an actual pool yet. And then there's fucking dead bodies floating with her, and that was the worst.
Kate,
the worst.
Kate, those were real skeletons.
I did hear that.
Because they're cheaper than the fake ones. Ew. Question. Should we donate our bodies to scary movies?
I don't know if they use real skeletons anymore. They probably don't.
Okay, we'll talk about it another
They
time.
can model my dead skeleton after something. What?
I did get a vibe, though, of, like, 90s quicksand because she, like, couldn't get out of the pool. And I was like, we gotta get out of the pool. And thank God she gets out of the pool. How does she get out of the pool? The dad comes home? The neighbor.
The neighbor who was like, this lady's cuckoo bananas, but I'll help her out of the pool. But then they don't go in to help because they're like, no, we're just here to make sure you don't drown. We're not going in your crazy house. No, thank you. Oof. And she gets back in the house. She goes up the stairs, and this is the shot with when the hallway like elongates.
Yo, The Shining. It gave me the Shining vibe. Wait, when did The Shining come out?
Oh, like 1980?
So, okay, I thought they, like, stole this from The Shining, because it gave me that vibe.
I feel like it was 80.
It was 1980.
Yeah. She eventually gets there, and this is where the closet is just trying to suck them in. There's closet tentacles. Not good.
There's blob outside of the door frame.
Ew, so icky.
And she just kept screaming, get away from my babies.
Oh.
Kate, if my Kate was being abducted, all scaredy cat Bridge goes away. I was
gonna say, you go into fucking fight
I'm
mode.
turning into Division 1 lacrosse Bridge, and I'm gonna beat the loving shit out of somebody.
You would run into the closet and, like, body slam, wrestling move the ghost demon to its death or something.
But that's what was so great about this mom. Like, literally, you felt so bad for her because she wasn't being an idiot. Like, you didn't want to get mad at her for her, like, dumb moves. She was trying everything. Oh, it was bad, man. And then she's like, hold on to my hand. And then he gets Robbie's hand and she's like, grab Carolyn. And then she saves them.
She's like, hold on. And then they hold on and then they get the fuck out of there. And then convenient timing is convenient. The dad rolls back up and he was with the boss. And this is where he yells.
We missed that whole scene. I forgot that the boss talked about how we're going to build up here and there's a cemetery and we move the cemetery. And that's how he remembers the whole cemetery thing.
Well, because the boss had said, we always move the bodies and the headstones. Like, duh. But then he didn't move the bodies. But he moved the headstones. And the whole family runs out and we're like, we don't have time for this shit. Get in the car. We gotta go. And then the teenage daughter, like, gets dropped off. I was like, girl, this is not a good time. And she just starts screaming and she's like, what's happening? And they're like, get in the fucking car, bitch. And she's like, eh.
Yo.
But she gets in the car.
The boss watching, the whole house is like losing its mind. It basically caves in on itself. There's crazy shit happening everywhere because headstones.
He got like electrocuted too, like the boss did.
Did he? Because headstones are just like protruding the earth. And
the coffins come up.
Oh my God.
And then the fire hydrant explodes and I was like, I don't think home insurance is gonna cover this one, guys. I'm so sorry.
You're writing to insurance.
Big financial loss.
I swear to God, bodies came up. Other people. So
you
there's
had
a movie
to be
on
there.
It.
There were ghost skeletons.
I had a parapsychologist. It was professionally documented. It wasn't me. That's what insurance is for.
That's the real nightmare, am I right?
Can I tell you that James brought this up to me and I agree. Them getting to the hotel where you're finally like taking a breath from this movie and he goes in to the room, shuts the door and then comes quickly out and throws the TV out.
That's so awesome.
I loved it. I thought that was so good. And then it ends.
Oh my God.
And I gotta say, I just was like, this was a great freaking movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really good movie. Oh,
yeah.
But it was terrifying.
It's very scary. And I said this to you, I got a little emotional because it was like, whoa, stakes are high. Like, little kids in trouble. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And they didn't know what was happening. They were so young.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Wow, Kate. Watch it or don't watch it? I think it's probably an obvious.
It's a watch for me.
Wow.
This movie is clean.
This movie has many hearts.
Has many hearts.
Well. It's that time again where we go to our next movie, Kate, and it's my pick.
Woo!
And I'm picking a listener pick. This is Ryan. Ryan, You filled out your last name and then told us how to pronounce it, but we don't want to say your last name on here for anonymity. However, it is something that you described so well, and I love it so much, Ryan. I hope from all that description you know it's you, Ryan.
Ryan, it's you.
Okay, it's you, Ryan. Ryan says, hey, long-time listener, first-time requester,
Woo!
I'm wondering if you guys could do ... Kate, should I give a build-up?
Give a build-up.
Give a build-up. When eccentric boop 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 ba-doop ba-doop boop boop man-child.
Oh!
It's gonna give it away. Pee-wee Herman gets his beloved bike stolen in broad daylight. He sets out across the U.S. on the adventure of his lifetime. Kate, we're watching the 1985 Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Woo!
Ryan says it was a childhood staple of mine, and it's absolutely hilarious. And we'll be the judge of that, Ryan. Okay?
Ryan, that tells me that you saw all of these horrific, dark 80s children's movies, because this is one of them, I would argue. Bridget, this is the movie that has the Big Bertha. Do you remember that part with the truck?
No.
Oh, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's a little scary. Have fun.
Oh,
also, the guy what's his name? Francis? Who's like the bad guy in this movie? He was, the grown-up version of the You're Gonna Lose kid in A League of Their Own, fun fact.
Wow, you pulled that out of your brain.
It was a lot of connections. Did you guys follow it? Because it
Are
was
you
like jumping
Zelda?
in a ghost portal with a rope. I'll tell you what.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, here we are. Let's do it, Kate. Here we are.
Woo! Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
Oh.
if your house decided to be haunted, which I feel like if that ever happened, it would have something to do with your the shady building next door that has been doing construction for 90 years.
No, they would be haunted.
They're
not.
They're we did not move the bodies because we're also doing illegal things.
I would have to be the neighbor getting someone out of a pool, and I didn't even know there was a pool.
Well, if for some reason your house was also getting messed up and Kate was sucked into a TV, something, Bridge, I swear to God, I would tie a rope around my waist so goddamn fast. I wouldn't even wait for Zelda. I'd say, I'm going in, Zelda! Hang on, girl! And I would go get her for you. Because I love you.
Kate, I want to jump on that. First of all, I love you so much for that, but I want to jump on that for you, okay? I would equally, obviously, take the rope, find Kate. If it was you, I'd find you. But I would also, just for you, I would stop and ask these ghosts about some of their backstories and how they make hauntings happen, so you can incorporate it into your screenwriting class.
Ooh!
Just for you. Even though I'd be terrified, I'd be like, I gotta take some notes for my sissy.
You'd be like, so I gotta ask. I see you're wearing a straw hat, but you are a ghost. Can you elaborate on that for me a little bit?
Which one of you is possessing the clown doll, and how'd you pick that?
Who is that? Because I'm about to curse you off. Goddamn. Oh, and listeners, if you also would jump into a ghost portal tied to a rope for someone you love.
Wow.
And if you think that clown dolls are fucked up and they shouldn't be given to children. Yeah. And if you think that house was not clean, but I also am not convinced it was Zelda's fault. I think she just didn't know what she didn't know, you know? You should write us a review.
Hey.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So our next movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It was recommended by Ryan.
Yeah?
Yeah. Ryan. Yes.
You paused.
Ryan,
I was like, yeah, you got it.
Ryan went on the website, filled out the form. He said it's his first time doing it. Ryan, there's a first time for everything. Make some more times. Get on there, my friend.
Yeah. Leave us a review, Ryan.
Listeners, that could be you. Okay? It goes on a list. We go through the list. We randomly pick through the list. And we will do it eventually. And Bridget, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee, which will go to our fund to get all the supplies to help all all the poltergeists get out of your house.
Yep.
Or just money. And if you don't want that and you want merchandise, we have that too. Check it out. It's great. It's personal. It's inside jokey. Just buy it. Have fun. It's summer. Do it. Be silly. Just go on. Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I don't remember any lines from this movie.
I have none.
There's definitely a song dance sequence that I remember. Because I remember being like, LOL, Pee-wee Herman can't really dance. But, like, I guess that's his shtick. He's, like, a man-child. Didn't they say that? Man-child? That's the description?
That's the description.
That's so funny. Oh, my God.
I love it. I can't wait. I can't even do his voice. We gotta get on his voice.
That was close, though. That was close, Bridge. Good one.
He does something weird.
Reminds me of the clown doll.
Oh, my God. Everybody check your closets tonight. I love you. Goodbye.
Love you.
Oh, my God. Goodbye. I love you. Bye-bye. Do not build houses in dirt you don't know the history of. Okay? No bodies. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.